Hey guys, just Boost here and welcome back to another Digimon video. First of all, if you happen to be watching this on the day of uploading, happy Easter. And also it is snowing out here, which is quite insane. Regardless, this is not a weather channel, but actually a card game channel. And today we are looking at the Digimon card game, of course. And even more specifically so, we are looking at the Shinegreymon yellow deck. I piloted to a X1 finish at the Digimasters tournament today. Eventually ending on a 4th place spot. The one game I did lose was actually a Shinegreymon mirror match where I made a slight misplay, but I guess I'll get into that when I talk about the matchups at the end of the video. If you do enjoy Digimon content, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment what you would like to see, and if you're, pretty excited to see some more Digimon content, consider subscribing to the channel. If you've been following the channel, you know that I've been playing yellow for the past 2 tournaments I played actually, but now with 1.5 being here, that means one thing. Yellow is finally, actually, arguably the best deck. But without any further ado, before we get into the matchups and my thoughts about the deck, let's just actually go into the deck profile. So yeah, let's hop right into the deck profile. As usual, we'll be taking a look at the Digitamas first before going into the main deck. So yellow actually finally got a really good Digitama in the form of Upamon. You see here, much like the blue Upamon, this one allows you to draw a card when attacking. Only the trigger activation or the trigger condition for this one is different. It is once per turn, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, trigger draw 1. So this will mostly come up in like mid game and late game. But definitely better than Kupimon, which requires you to have 5 or more, which is only mostly on like the first or second turns. So yeah, this card is absolutely amazing. And then for the last Digitama, still my least favorite card of the deck, Tokomon. Now you might be wondering if I think Tokomon is so bad, why I'm not playing Kupimon, but like I said, it is usually only good on like the first or second turn. And then since you would only be playing one Kupimon, the odds of seeing that one when it is good are so low, and at least like the attack boost might still come up for the Tokomon, so this ratio was fine for me. It was also not as bad to open this one as it is when you're playing the Kupimon one. That's the Kupimon as Digitama, like in the old build, so yeah. And you really do need 5 Digitama in this deck, by the way. Like, I think you need 5 Digitama in most decks, but this deck can be super grindy, so having access to 5 of them definitely mandatory in my opinion. Moving on to the main deck, starting off with the level 3s. I am playing 3 of this Patamon, which is the one that has the unplay effect where you review the 4 cards from the top of your deck and then add any yellow tamer cards among them to your hand. So this can potentially be +4. I mean, the odds of that actually happening are pretty low, of course, but this is my on-play level 3. The one I prefer, I would say. I see a lot of people playing Lotmon, the one that's like where you can add one of your security cards to your hand and then draw a card. But I really don't feel like you should be helping your opponent get rid of your security cards, right? Even though it does set up some effects like Upamon or the Inheritance Wolf Angel Woman you will be seeing later. But this just really helps you set up and deck for the cards that you need to finally pull off your Shinegreymon when you are, when you eventually get there. And I definitely liked how this card performed, would definitely be keeping this ratio for now. Then I'm playing even more Patamon. This is the one that gives the inheritable ability of when you delete a Digimon by reducing its DP to 0, you gain the memory. So this is just basically the best one. You have Labramon as well, which allows you to draw a card, but I think this one's better because, it's basically when you drop your Shinegreymon, it means that when you have this under one of your Digimon, that means that you are essentially dropping it for, a 3 cost, or if you have more of them, a 2 cost, which is really good. And it also comes up with Kentaurosmon, which I will be showing later in the deck when it crashes into security. But yeah, definitely happy with this ratio as well. Then I did opt to play triple Salamon. This is the new Salamon from 1.5 that is, if you have fewer security cards, when this card is deleted, you get recovery +1. It is 4 to play, which is really high. You never really want to hard play this, but it is 0 to evolve, and in combination with Upamon, like mid or late game, it allows you to draw a card and then usually recover plus once it only has 2000 DP. And this card definitely saved me a couple times. I would even consider playing 4 of this, but you have to make room in this deck for the Tamers, right? Which is why I ended up only playing 3, but this card definitely performed well. I was really happy with it. I can't really see myself cutting this from the deck. And then the last level 3s I played are triple 2-Kaimon, just for the vanilla 2-2 play level 3s that you are usually playing in any deck. It just gives you more options when you want to go wide right. Ending on 14 level 3s, which I prefer to play like 15 or 16 even. 14 is the bare minimum. But like I said, you need room for the Tamers, so yeah. And the reason I'm playing this over Salamon is just, you know, to play around any potential Omnimons. If you're playing like this and then even more Salamons, you don't really want to get hit by that. So yeah, that's it for the level 3s. In my opinion, this ratio was really good. I wouldn't actually change anything about these for now. I might try the lock one, but I really don't like the idea of actually taking my own security cards. I have my opponent to do that, so... Yeah, then moving on to level 4s, pretty clean lineup as you'll see. I'm playing 4 Terurymon, or Pence Rabbit, whatever you want to call it. Which is the 1 to evolve level 4 that yellow got access to in 1.5. I mean, you just have to play this 1 to evolve. It's just way too good, and then it's also 6000 DP. The play cost is high, but you usually want to evolve into it, of course. And yeah, this one was great. Then I'm still playing for Repamon. The reason for this is it's just if you do not draw any of your rookies, you will hopefully have access to this and you can just play it for 3, which is not ideal, but it is not the worst. Play cost for 3 is fine. It does get hit by Alter S, which is a little bit of a problem, I suppose, but I think just inherently engine-wise, it's correct to play this. I was happy with this ratio. And then the last level 4s I am playing 12 are just 4 of the blocker. I think the blockers or Unimon is really important in this deck, because you'll find that you actually need a lot of setup for Shinegreymon to be really good. In the late game you'll see that oftentimes you're just wiping your opponent's entire field, which is absolutely ridiculous, but to get there you actually, you know, you need to stay alive, and Unimon being a blocker definitely helps with that. But I'll talk a little bit more about that in the next section when I show level 5s. But yeah, 12 level 4s, which is just ideal in my opinion, and was happy with this. And then for the level 5s, I am playing for Shinegreymon. This is just the best one. It helps you set up, because when you ditch evolve you can play a tamer from your hand without paying the memory cost. This does not trigger the memory TK, but that's absolutely fine. It's just important to get as many tamers out for free, basically, because that's what this does, right? To set up your Shinegreymon, and then the inheritable effect is also insane, where it actually gives you your Shinegreymon, or I guess anything on top of it. If you have 3 yellow tamers in play, security attack plus 1. So yeah, definitely a 4 off. I really don't see why you would play less than that. Then I'm playing triple Sirenmon. This is a little bit like the Repamon. That's a really low play cost. So if you're bricking, you can potentially just drop this. And then it's also 2 to evolve, which I think is probably the most important reason to play this. And not much to explain about that. And then the last card in my deck, which I'm still a little bit undecided about, or not, it's not the last card in my deck, but the last level 5 in my deck is Angel Woman. This is the one that's, when ditch evolving, it's like a mini Kentaurosmon, target one of your opponent's Digimon and it gains security attack -2 until the end of your opponent's next turn. So this is one of those stall cards, right, where sometimes you really need cards like this, Unimon, or even the Salamon Recovery to allow you the additional turns you need to set up to actually take control of the game, but because oftentimes late game, when you finally do get to resolve that Shinegreymon, the game will be over, and this is one of the cards that helps with that. However, the other option I would consider playing is actually the Angel Woman that's on the Evolve Recovery +1 if you have 3 or 4 security cards. Because I think this one is a little bit more situational, but the pro that this has is that this actually has inheritable effect which can come up, which is if you have 2 or fewer security cards from your if you have 2 or fewer security cards, when you attack you can play a level 3 Digimon from your hand without paying the memory cost, which is quite strong, I thought anyway, but while playing it actually almost never came up where I could use that. effect, and you also usually want to actually drop this one while you're setting up. But yeah, still undecided what I thought about this card. In one of my matches, this card was really bad. Like, if it would have been Angel Woman, the other one, the recovery one, I would have won the game, I think. But then there was also a match against Decklist where this was actually the card that saved me. So I'm not sure yet. I'm quite content with this, but about these Angel Woman, I just don't know. Like, I might play the other one. I still have some testing to do, I guess, because I did have a little bit of a limited time to test. I just had like a couple of hours to play against my friend Matthijs to test this deck. But yeah, then finally there he is, the boss monster of the deck, Shinegreymon. 2 alt arts and 2 regular arts, which I really dislike. My other 2 alt arts are actually still coming in. I did pull these from my some of my boxes, so that was quite nice. But yeah, this card is it is ridiculous, right? It does have a 4 to evolve cost, which is quite high, but the effect is just insane. Like, when you have 6 tamers and playing, you evolve into this, almost all the time you'll literally just wipe your opponent's entire field, which is absolutely crazy. And then it's also quite big when attacking, because it gains 1000 for every tamer in play, yellow tamer in play, so it will not easily die to security checks. And then especially if you have a Shinegreymon under it with the +1 security attack, this card is insane. It's just, what you're basically trying to do with this deck is you're trying to stall your opponent or hold him off long enough to set up like a bunch of tamers, and then in an ideal situation you'll just be able to Shinegreymon them every turn, just wipe their entire field. And it's just, I really feel like once you gain control of the game by wiping the field with Shinegreymon once, the game should usually be yours, and this card is just crazy strong. And then I do prefer to usually play more level 6s, but there's just no space because of all the tamers you have to play. So the other 2 level 6s I'm playing are Kentaurosmon. A lot of people are playing /Angemon, but I felt like Kentaurosmon is actually the card that fits the team and the playstyle of the deck better, because if your opponent has like 5 Digimon and is going to attack you for turn next game, you can actually just Kentaurosmon them to stall them for 1 more turn, which might actually be the turn you need to get access to Shinegreymon, and after that just wipe their entire field. I can definitely see why /Angemon would also be a very good card to play in this deck, and it's definitely an option. But honestly, Kentaurosmon performed really well for me today. It's also just a lot bigger than /Angemon and will survive more security checks, and of course the undeletion effect of this card is also actually really strong. So I was quite happy with this ratio for the level 6s. And then the last part of the deck are the tamers, and I'm not playing any option cards. As you can see, a lot of people are actually playing Glorious Burst, but in the end I feel like to play those option cards you need to you know, make room in your deck and cut even more Digimon. And if you do not see the right lines, it's just impossible to play a deck like this, right? I mean, with Rookie Rush it's obviously fine, but more decks that, you know, just more standard decks like this, even though this one is already pretty special because of all the tamers you have to play, you really need to see your lines. And I really felt like Glorious Burst would be a little bit overkill, and I still stand by that decision. I never missed it. Shinegreymon did the job perfectly fine, and I was really happy with the added consistency I got by not playing Glorious Burst. For the tamers, I am playing 40k. If you have been watching my videos, you know I love memory tamers, and I mean, in this deck it's no different. Just starting your turn with 3 comes up so much, and then also the effect of this one when you you just play, it's actually really good, where you can kind of mold your hand to search for what you need in the security. So you have 4 of this, and then eventually you can also just play it for free with the Shinegreymon, so the 4 cost isn't that much of an issue. Then I'm also playing 3 Kari, which is the one that's when you have Cure fewer security at start of your turn, you gain +1. So once you set up something like this, like TK and Kari or TK and multiple Kari, you'll be starting your turn with 4 or 5 memory each time, which is just absolutely ridiculous. You know, especially if you can memory choke your opponent by putting them 1 every time, you're just literally winning the game. So yeah, I was definitely happy with that. I would even consider playing 4 of this and then just 1 of this TK. The reason I play 2 of this is, it's not even good, but I just want to play 9 tamers. It seems like a good number of tamers to play. And then it's just, the effect almost like, I guess it does come up to make your, your security Digimon bigger, and then your opponent losing out more often than they would if it's not on the field, but you're mostly just playing this since the play cost is 2, which is relatively low, which allows you to set up for, not too much memory. But I would definitely consider playing 4 of this, and just 1 of this, because I just really love getting extra memory. So yeah, that's the decklist, guys. 50 cards, of course. I was really happy with the decklist. I just think the level 5 could use some... maybe use some changes, I'm not completely sure yet, but overall I think the deck performed really well. Probably just my playing that was a little bit short on the 1 match I lost, but yeah, let's just talk about the tournament a little bit more. So yeah, that was the deck list. Like I said, there was some change I would make, but all in all I am pretty content with the deck list and most of the choices I made. Now just going through the matchups real quick. The first round, actually the round I lost, is where I played against Shinegreymon, the mirror match. I lost 2-0. Game 1 I actually bricked, I think by opening it was like triple Repamon, double Unimon, and then I just drew 2 tamers, so I just couldn't get back into the game. And then game 2 was absolutely insane. You grinded forever. I actually almost decked out. There was 1 more card in my deck, but I made like a little bit of an error where I needed my last Shinegreymon to win, but then it wasn't in my security before when I looked at it with TK, and I had another TK in my hands. And because I hadn't seen it there, I thought it would still be in the deck, but eventually it turned out that I actually added the Shinegreymon to my security with the aforementioned TK, so I lost because of that. A little bit of a misplay on my part. Then in the second round I actually played against Purple. Just Purple, good stuff, whatever you want to call it. I took that one 2-0 relatively quickly. The yellow Shinegreymon deck at this point in the format just seems to outperform the Purple deck as it is now. So yeah, 2-0 victory. Then in the third round I played another Shinegreymon mirror, which I won 2-0 as well. Game 1 was pretty back and forth, but eventually I took it. And then game 2, my opponent actually bricked, he couldn't really get going, so I took that one. And then in the last round I played against Black Decklist, which was a very fun match in my opinion. Game 1 I took relatively easy. Just, he could set up 1 Decklist, I think, and attack for like 4 security or something, but once I got rid of it with Shinegreymon, he couldn't really get back into the game. And then the second game was insane. He hit me with Decklist, and eventually I had 0 security, and I did have 2 blockers, but he had Decklist with piercing. So the blockers, they didn't really, I mean, I guess they did do something because you got actually attack for game with piercing. But I had 0 security and he had like a bunch of Digimon, and I just had to Kentaurosmon and Engine Woman him for a couple of turns until I eventually could set up a Shinegreymon to wipe out the entire field. And at that point the 2 blockers were enough to keep me in the game. I also got like back 1 recovery with the Salamon, so yeah, that game was crazy, but I did end up winning that one 2-0 as well, so eventually got 4th. Shout out to all my opponents. All of the games were really good in my opinion, very fun. And also shout out to the organization for the tournament. I will be doing a deck profile of the winner's deck as well, so stay on the lookout for that. And in the coming week or weeks I will be uploading a ton of Digimon content, more deck profiles, gameplay videos, etc. So if you're into that kind of stuff, yeah, that is gonna be on this channel. I guess I've said everything I want to say about the deck. Let me know what you thought about it, and then I'll see you in the next one. Bye!